All right, let's do it.
And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. We do a lot of different things here on the channel to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. But the most fun one is sitting down with those creators to play those games. It's especially fun when we get to do it with two players. It's also especially fun we get to do it with somebody who is, I would consider at this point, a real life friend, because we've had at least one meal together in person and live in the same city. And that's Ben, also known as That Gamer Priest. Ben, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and tell us a little bit about Broken, the game we're going to be playing today.
I'd love to. Thanks so much, Tony, for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Ben Wallis, aka That Gamer Priest on social media. I am the co-founder of the All Ports Open Network and Apon Games, which we just launched officially last week. We at Apon Games, which is the analog game branch of the All Ports Open Network, we successfully crowdfunded our first game, The Hard Lessons, in May of this year, and on Tuesday of this week, we launched the itch funding campaign for a game I wrote called Broken, a tragic romance game, and it successfully hit its first two goals. So we funded the full ebook of the game, the final rule set for the game on honestly within the first 25 hours. We missed 24 by like just a little bit. So we've been putting up a really fun little image of funded it in 25 hours. And we're heading towards our first stretch goal for the game. So Broken is a tabletop role-playing game of tragic romance for two players about broken objects and broken hearts. So it takes place over 10 scenes. You create a relationship of some sort, of any sort that you want, and then you slowly watch the relationship crack apart until it is fully broken and the relationship is over. And in the final scene, you have your final breakup. But the cool thing about Broken is that it's also not just about broken hearts, it's about breaking real life physical objects. So you actually break stuff when you play the game. You get 10 real life physical objects and like smash them or crack them or break them or snap them in half or tear them up or whatever you want to do. So one of the really fun things about this game is collecting those objects that you're going to break, and they serve as scene prompts for you throughout the game. So it's a really kind of like, it can be a very emotional, deep game. It can like get into some pretty intense subject matter if you're like doing a really realistic breakup. But it can also be very cathartic as you're like breaking stuff. It can be very empathy building, and hopefully, I hope you'll develop like some hope and healing, especially if like you're the kind of person that is processing your own real life stuff from a bad breakup or a divorce or something along those lines. Hopefully you can kind of do some processing along the way, or just have fun breaking objects as you're telling a good story, which is,
love it.
I think what the game does really well. So that's me. That's Broken. I'm really excited to play, Tony.
Awesome. I'm excited to play also.
I lost the ability to hear you.
Do what? Google sometimes loves to just...
I still can't hear you. I don't know if it's on my end.
Can you hear me now?
Wonder why.
Oh. So Google loves to do this thing where it will all of a sudden switch my audio input. And so even if you can't hear me, all of a sudden go ahead and say something, but just know the audience can still hear me at that point in time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because it's two different programs and it's pulling from two different places. Yep. Afterthought Games, there's already been a breakdown in communication. That's where we're at. It's where we're at. It's why we're breaking up.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. I've got 5 items to break. I've got a little notebook to write in for prompts and stuff, a candle to burn things with. We always use a couple tools here on the channel to make sure things stay on track. Does Broken have a built-in safety tool, process, or conversation for how we do that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's such a great question because safety tools are so important for a game like this. And we are, as part of what we're funding with the final version of the ebook, is that Bo Sheldon of Thoughty Games is going to be is our safety designer and consultant, and we're going to be like basically taking the script change tool set that from Thoughty Games, and we're going to be kind of layering script change into Broken. That is not finished. However, we do talk about safety throughout the book, including the use of the X card, including the use of script change as an option, and lines and veils. So we don't have like the final version of how safety tools will work in Broken. It's not final. However, like, you know, I would say for me, Tony, and see what you say here on your stream, like having the, you know, everything I think could be X'd. One of the mechanics of this game is kind of like describing stuff about the other person. So it's really important to be able to have consent for that. So like at any time I think we can X anything in my view. And then having a conversation about lines and veils is probably really important for us going into this game.
Yeah, and I think especially with 2-player games, there is a lot of validity to the we are just going to talk to each other like two real human beings and consider the other person's needs and perspective in this. Which I think when you get into larger games can oftentimes be a pass out. In a 2-player game with people who have played together before, I feel much more comfortable just kind of throwing that out there as we can do this, we can X, we can name any sort of lines or veils. I think actually talking a little bit about what kind of relationship makes the most sense for that earlier, especially when engaging around concepts of romance.
Yeah.
You know, we can figure out some of those pieces. So I'm going to hand things over to you, and we'll kind of incorporate those pieces as they make sense in our conversation.
That sounds great. Well, in that case, I actually think the best thing for us to do is to show each other. We've each gathered some objects to break. I think a fun way to start this out, you can kind of do two things with the game. You can kind of like decide what kind of scenario you want to play first. Say, you know, I really want to play, for example, recently somebody backed the game. We have 3 of these left. There's a $50 level. You can back the game to play with me. And one of the people that did on social media said, oh, I want to do a Star Trek, scenario. So if you have like a scenario you want to do out the gate, you can. The other way of playing is to like gather your 10 physical objects and to like look at those and say, okay, like what kind of game maybe is inspired by these? I would say, unless you have a scenario you're burning to play, Tony, let's look at our 10 objects and then maybe see what kind of naturally comes out of that. Cool. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
All right. So why don't we take turns sharing ours? I'm going to share my first one. This one is a little bit, I found this today. It's an old Netflix sleeve. I don't know how, hopefully people who are watching this remember.
In front of your face, it'll be, okay. People will be able to see it. Yeah.
All right. It's an old Netflix sleeve I found of Blade Runner. So good movie that I'm going to break, but it's Blade Runner, the theatrical and director's cut. And it's in, and the reason why I wanted to do this one is because it's in the original Netflix sleeve. Like I never returned it. And so
the video, is the video in there still?
Oh yeah. It's 3 discs. It's all 3 discs of Blade Runner, and I'm going to break it.
Awesome. For Zoomers out there who are watching right now, Netflix used to not be a streaming service. They used to be a mail service. This is actually how they killed. This is part of how they killed Blockbuster, which used to be a place where you would go in and get DVDs or VHS cassettes in person and then leave and go home and then bring them back a few days later. They used to mail things back and forth. And then for a while they did both. And I actually think they still technically do both for a very limited thing for regions at which you cannot access their service. But FYI, that's DVDs are things you used to put in a machine, kind of like a video game disc to watch a movie. So awesome. I have my notebook from every game we play I have about a page of notes here. So this is my notebook that is now filled up from the last however many games. It does actually start its life though not as that type of notebook. It starts its life as a page of weird prophecy at the very front that I wrote when we were trying to resummon the general channel on the Brain Trust Discord after it had gotten destroyed because bad things happened. It did eventually came back, but the prophecy also remains in the front of this notebook also too.
Wow, so that's an intense one to break. All right, so I'm gonna save my most intense one for last. Okay. Here's a silly thing I found. This is a coffee mug advertising the TV show 2.5 Men on weeknights on my PHL 17 is what it says here, and it says the good, the bad, and the hungry with like it's the three original characters from Two and a Half Men, not like when they brought Ashton Kutcher on. I've not watched the show really, but I know that that's a thing from pop culture. So that coffee mug of Two and a Half Men is my next item.
Excellent. I also have a mug, but it is just a plain white mug.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I'm gonna guess based on this type of mug, there is a bit 50-50 chance I stole this mug from a church I worked at and just walked out with it at one point in time, like thinking I'll take it back eventually, but I'm still drinking this coffee.
Yeah,
I didn't. It's here now.
There's 100% chance I stole this Two and a Half Men cup from a
church
that I currently work at. So so we're on theme there. Okay, let's see. My next item is going to be speaking of church, my next item is one of the wise men. It's like a Christmas decoration, I guess. It's like made of like, I don't know, plaster or something. Yeah, one of the wise men. Yeah.
Awesome. I also have a plate. These are plates we got to give somebody who was moving into a recovery center, who then ghosted us entirely after we gathered a bunch of stuff up from them, and we hadn't heard from them. As far as I know, they're doing fine and well.
Good.
But yeah. So, anyways, we were running low on plates because we have teenagers, and so we just swapped out our plates for those plates. This, because we have teenagers, this set is also running low, and we're about to replace them all again. So
there you go. All right, so my next item is pretty simple, and I had a bunch of old dead ones of these around from moving, and it's just a light bulb. It's like for the purposes of this like the game, it is kind of like a weird sized light bulb. It's like small, like a weird old looking light bulb.
Awesome. And then I have I couldn't find the cassette that goes in it, but we're gonna have this represent the cassette as a whole. I have a cassette deck. It was for a blank tape. So
nice.
There's no emotional certificates except for the potential reality of the world's greatest mixtape being eliminated.
So. I love it. And then my last item is the one I saved this one for last because I personally think it's the darkest one for this game. And it is a actual copy, a board book copy of the book Goodnight Moon, the children's book Goodnight Moon. It's an actual children's book read by my actual children when they were really little, and we're going to destroy it. So that's my last item.
Cool. The last item I have is a black rainbow Chessex style dice case.
Nice. Love it. That's a good one.
So if you haven't checked out Black Rainbow, go check them out at BLKRNBW. And when you roll one of their D20s, there's a 5% chance that you'll get a critical success.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's our item. So we have our 10 items to break. So these items are going to serve as scene prompts throughout the game. They are meant to be very vague scene prompts in the sense that you can just take them as inspiration. So, like you have a plate as one of yours, that could be anything that a plate inspires you when you set a scene. It could be a dinner party. It could be a date at a restaurant. It could be, it's a circular shape. So it could be something that has to do with a circle. Like it could be as open-ended as that, right? So those are kind of how you use these for scene prompts. And so looking at what we have, is there any kind of scenario for a relationship that comes to mind that you might be interested in doing? I have Goodnight Moon, so I thought, well, maybe there will be children in the equation some way, whether that's like we have children together in a relationship, or whether one of us has children, or whether, like something like that. It doesn't have to be, just throwing that out there since that's kind of came up in my mind.
Yeah. My thought, I'll be honest, immediately after we started talking and based on some of the content that you brought, also, I really love the idea of 1980s/90s teenagers working at a Blockbuster.
Okay, so here's the thing: we can do that. It's so funny that you say that because there is a. I have listened to the actual play of this game that Party of One podcast is going to release. And the scenario they play is, it's not a Blockbuster, but it's two people who work at a video rental store.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's that Philly brain. Well, let's not do that then, because we've already got some of that content coming.
Because that's such a good scenario too. Like I'm like, oh man, like they beat us to it, because that would have been a really fun one.
I'm okay if there's kids. Let's see. We've got kids. We've got vampire / antiquated Netflix videos. We've got a lot of mugs.
We do. Well, we could be some sort of coffee shop employees, because we've got the mugs instead of 80s 90s Blockbuster. Let's see. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the light bulb. The light bulb makes me think actually of like ideas. So could have to do with like some sort of business thing there, or like starting a business. I'm just throwing stuff out, throwing spaghetti on the wall here.
I like the cafe idea. What if it is a cafe like that's like, what if it is a modern cafe its whole shtick, its whole like thing is like old cinema, like, so like there's always like like all the drinks have weird goofy names, like the specials, other stuff like that, but it is totally a modern take. We'll put it in a cafe and we'll just have some of the thematic stuff going on in the background.
I'm going to call an audible then, because I think that's great. And I'm going to swap out one of the items I brought for a backup item I had, because it's just so perfect. And that means I'm going to take the wise man and I'm going to swap it out. I was going to save this because it's so cool, but I got this at a thrift store, and it's a director's clapboard thing. So that, since we're doing a cinema theme to our coffee shop, I just feel like I have to break that. So that's going on my items instead of the wise man.
Cool.
Yeah. So, okay. So let me ask you this question, because this is interesting. Do we want to be romantic partners who own this coffee shop together or work at this coffee shop together? Or do we want to try to play the game? I haven't actually done this yet. Do we want to try to play the game as business partners that are breaking up and there's not a romantic element to it? Because that is something we could do. I mean, I've told people they can play the game that way.
I'm all about romance, but if you have not done a thing yet and you're like, you could do this thing, then I 100% want to do that thing. Let's do some live playtest design work here.
Yeah, well, I fully definitely thought we were going to do a romance game today, but like I kind of like the idea of trying that if you're cool with it and seeing 100%. How that goes. So let's give that a try where we're like business partners. Now the kids.
Afterthought Games actually threw this out earlier. This is very interesting. Is father son?
Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh, that's so good. That's so good because it's so dark. Let's do that. Yes, I love it. All the ideas in the chat are good. I love Bad Movie Club who meets in a coffee shop too. That's good. But father son who run a coffee shop together, that's like cinema themed, is fabulous. All right, so we have our scenario.
Father keeps on trying to explain what Netflix was.
Yes, exactly. That's right. So we have our scenario. So which one of us is going to play? Which one of us is going to play the father? Which one is going to play the son?
I'm fine either way. If you have a preference, we can lean that way, or we can just let the first person in chat cast us.
Oh, let's do that. Let's let the chat cast us.
Let's let chat cast us. Do we have a theoretical name for the cafe?
Ooh, what is it good? Let's. Are you cool with the cafe being set in Philadelphia? Because that's where we're from.
We should, absolutely.
All right. So let's see. A good Philly themed.
I mean, is it like Lights, Camera, Philly?
I love that. I love that. Lights, Camera, Philly. All right. That doesn't evoke coffee shop, but it's definitely.
But I also think that's a great like tension point, is like somebody named it this and it's not working. It's a good like lights, camera, Philly cafe is like is a horrible name that would ruin a business because everybody would show up looking for something other than what it was. Mossberg says you are child.
Okay. All right. So I'm the kid. You're the dad. So Latte's camera action is pretty good too.
Oh, Latte's camera action is very good. All right, let's do Latte's camera action.
All right, so let's do that. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to each take a moment to write a brief description of our character and like a name, basically like what, what is the camera, what would a camera see as it pans over you, like a little brief description of your character, and then we're going to share that with each other. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for me. And we're both going to do it. I guess we'll skip last name since we'll probably share one.
I mean, who knows? I don't know what my relationship with your mom is like.
True.
All right. Got a couple notes down. Real quick while Ben's finishing up. Tomorrow we are going to be playing Weirding Woods with Oliver McNeil, who is the creator of the Story Masters Tales series, which is a popular RPG for all ages coming out of the UK. We're going to have him on to play, and I believe my youngest child is going to join us as on their first their streaming debut as well, which I'm very excited about. Tomorrow we're doing that, and then we've got some Palace of the Sun King Down We Go adventures happening. It's a mega dungeon by Bats. We're going to use the Down We Go house system to run it, and then we're going to have 2 sessions of that this weekend on Saturday and Sunday afternoon.
Awesome. Well, I've got my description, Tony, if you're ready to share them.
Sure.
Cool. So why don't you go first? We'll let the dad go first here.
So my name is Jeremiah. I think as the camera pans in, like we see kind of me staring out the window. We're in Philly, right? We're placing it cool. Down in let's see, let's put it in Old City, and we'll I'm staring out the window, cars going by, early morning light, kind of filtering in through the blinds. I'm squinting just a little bit as you kind of zoom out from my eyes in the cup. You notice that my almost flock of seagulls haircut is kind of thrown off by the fact that I have male pattern baldness going on pretty badly in the back. My suit has, which you shouldn't wear a suit when you work at a coffee shop ever. It's a bad idea. My suit has a somewhat dated cut to it, and oversized shoulder pads going with it also too.
Awesome. I love that. All right, so the camera pans over. When the camera pans to Max, I'm playing Max. Did you say a last name, by the way? Do you want to throw a last name out there?
I didn't say a last name. I didn't say a last name.
All right. Well, I'm playing Max, and when you pan when the camera pans to Max, you see Max has what I would call what we used to call among my friends the West Philly haircut, which is really like I don't know if they call it a comb over, but it's basically shaved on one side, like comb over style, long on the other side, dyed blue hair, thick dark glasses, lanky, and Max is lanky and short. But what we see is I think that what we see on the camera is that Max is outside of the coffee shop. Like there's some flower, or there's some big planters for decorative bushes outside the coffee shop, and I'm planting when the camera pans to me, I'm planting flowers there or something, and we see that Max is wearing really long mismatched stocking socks with sandals and a My Hero Academia t-shirt. So Max's pronouns are he and they, and that's who I'll be playing.
Cool. I love it. Love the immediate vibe off of all that. I did look up most common last names in Philadelphia, and they could not be more boring. I'm going to read everybody the whole list. Williams, Johnson, Smith, Brown, Jones, Davis, Jackson, and Thomas. And I guess common names are always going to be fairly boring. Let's look up Pennsylvania Dutch surnames. How about Brennerman?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
So that means my name is Max Brennerman, which
all right.
Cool. So what the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write traits. So the way this works is each of you writes 5 traits, but these are like not just sort of normal traits about your character. These are things that your character, so if you're playing in a romance context, they're basically things that your character likes about the other person or is attracted to about the other person or likes about being in a relationship with the other person. So in like the context of like a father, son, and / business, it would be things that we like about like, you know, things that I like about my dad, things that that our relationship evokes in the way I feel, things about like the coffee shop and working at the coffee shop together in business. So it'll be those sorts of things. So we're going to write 5 of those, and then we can share them with each other.
What sense of age do we get from Max also, by the way?
Yeah, I'm thinking Max is a young adult, so maybe like early 20s, we'll say.
If anybody has ideas for this dynamic duo that we've thrown out, feel free to toss them in the chat.
Yeah, I wrote 3, but I'll leave some alone here, or I'll leave 2 blank here in case somebody has something good they want to throw out there.
Why don't you share yours first, so that way if I did it wrong, I can quickly retcon what I wrote down.
Absolutely. So the first one I wrote was, I love how trusting my dad is. And then the second one I wrote was, always has my back.
Cool.
And the third one I wrote was, the coffee shop feels like home.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So I left 2 blank in case folks have ideas in the chat.
I wrote down like Saturday movie morning, so I think conceptually like that this grew out of a shared like experience at home while you were growing up.
I love that.
I put I love how creative my son is.
Yes.
And I love that my son has a willingness to go in on a crazy idea.
So somebody wrote, always there, be there. Mousberg wrote, you'll always be there for me in the chat, which is pretty close to my always has my back one. So I think that one's so close that we can kind of keep that. You could choose to write. How many did you do? Just now?
I did 3 also to start with.
You could take you'll always be there for me, and that could be an interesting, like having 2 similar ones sometimes is really fascinating because we might end up like becoming disillusioned with them at the same time.
I'll take that one.
If
we get any more, we get any more. I think otherwise we can add them in as we, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So the way usually you do this is that you stack these 5 in kind of like, it doesn't really ultimately matter, but I always recommend people like put them in the order from kind of the like least serious of them to kind of the most, and that helps you just kind of naturally have an arc that kind of gets more intense as you go. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave my 2 blank ones at the bottom in case folks have good ideas in the chat. We could always fill those in as we're going along here,
or use them as quantum traits if we need to.
There you go. Exactly. Works hard is good. Works hard might be a good one for you to write about me, like, you know.
I like that. Yeah, I'll take that one.
Yeah. And that's basically all the prep for the game. Now, I did have a candle here. I know you said you had a candle. My candle was so low that it went out. But luckily, I have a fire generator here. So, so I'm good for burning stuff. And we can go ahead and start jumping into the scenes if you're ready to go.
Sounds good, yeah.
Awesome. So the way the game is structured is that in Broken, you're it's almost akin to looking back at a relationship like that has broken up because you frame the scenes around memory. So the ritual of the game is we take turns setting a scene. The person who's going to set a scene picks one of the objects, and you can normally you really can pick any of the 10 objects. And we can kind of play that way. We can kind of review our objects again. You pick one of the 10 objects you've gathered as a scene prompt, and then you sort of think about, okay, like what kind of scene do I want to prompt? And then you start by saying, remember when, and you prompt the scene. And then the other player says, but you forgot about, and adds some sort of twist or complication or tension to the scene. And then we'll kind of play the scene out, and you can like role play your characters, or you can kind of describe it as a movie. And you play the scene until one of you has become disillusioned with the top card you have showing. So like, for example, my top card showing is, I love how trusting my dad is. And what would your top card be?
Mine is Saturday movie morning.
Nice. So you would kind of,
also, yeah. Did you see afterthoughts in the chat? Stepped up when older brother left the house.
Oh, that's another good one for you to write down for me, probably.
Yeah, I'm full at the moment.
Okay.
What if we kind of inverted it though? What if we went on like I don't know if it's like leaned on.
Yeah.
Good. Like
leaned on me when the brother left the house. Yeah. I love that.
And that leaned on in a good way, like this affirmed and like validated me.
Yeah, I love that. So, sorry, what was your top card showing?
Saturday morning movies.
Nice. So, stepped up and mom left in the divorce is a really good one too. Maybe the last one I'm gonna write. Well, all right. Let me hold that thought. I may, for that last one I may write like was there for me when mom left in the divorce. But I'll hold that thought just in case there's another one in the chat that could be a good last one for me. So we want to move the scene towards the like becoming disillusioned with one of the top cards showing either loving how trusting my dad is or the Saturday morning cartoon. So which one of us is going to set a scene first, and if so, that person will pick an object and set a scene. Do you have a preference to starting, or
why don't you go first, and then I can hop in? I think that's the easiest since I'm learning the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, oh my God, this is going to be. I'm already seeing this game unfolding in front of us with like the 2.5 Men mug and the Good Night Moon. This could be. This could be dark. All right, so I'm going to pick the copy of Blade Runner, the final cut that's sitting here, as my scene prompt, and I'm going to kind of this one's to me kind of obvious, right? So we've got the scene's going to be okay. I'm ready to set the scene here. Remember when after a long time, we hadn't done them, you brought back our Saturday morning movie time together as like a special thing at the coffee shop. So you set Latte's camera action up to like do surprise me with like a Saturday morning movie for us. And we were going to watch Blade Runner. Remember when that.
Awesome. And then I go with a but. Is that correct?
It's but you forgot about, and then you add some sort of twist or complication or something along those lines.
Yeah. So would that be like, but you forgot that it was the extended edition and scheduled something on the last 2 weeks run?
Yep.
Like I had said, it was Blade Runner, a 5-week series, extended director cut. And you overscheduled something on the last 2 weeks.
Yep. Yep. So I think then the scene's gonna start with like I'm getting ready to leave the coffee shop to go meet up with some friends for like a study thing. Like I'm deciding to jump back into grad school and trying to balance that with working at the coffee shop. And so I've scheduled this like study thing with my friends. And like so what we see at the start of the scene is I am getting ready, packing up my stuff to leave, kind of in the corner of the coffee shop, throwing my stuff in my backpack. Uh, when you notice that, as I imagine, you're probably setting up for.
Yeah, I think like we see me like poking down, like I'm standing behind a TV because even though this is a thing we do all the time, just like any cafe or bar or anywhere that has TVs, you always have to switch cables and they never work right. And so like I'm behind there, like plugging things in. Maybe you would come in to open, and like this is a thing where
Yeah.
we've scheduled it so that we can just sit and watch while other people work. And so like I look down and I'm like, what, like where are you going? It's director commentary day.
Oh, that's not. Dang, we didn't finish that. I
No,
thought.
I mean like we finished like the original cut, the director's cut, the extended director's cut, but this is the extended director's cut with director's commentary over it. And then next week we've got the extended director's cut with Harrison Ford's commentary over the top of it.
Yo, I mean, Dad, like, I'm sorry. That's like a lot of weeks in a row. I mean, I had made
Right.
plans.
I'm so glad we're getting back into this. It's great.
I know, I know. It's cool. Like, it's definitely it reminds me of like. I mean, it's cool. Look, Dad, I really appreciate that you're doing this for me because, like, I know it. It's such a cool thing. Like, it's been really fun to like revisit this together. But like, I'm really trying to study for my GREs. Like, I've got a group scheduled, and I just can't miss that. It's just too important. I
That's
have to
why
go.
why don't you just have them come here, and by the time they get here, we'll be like a third of the way through, and they can just join us, and y'all can study afterwards.
I promised them that I would meet them up at this. Well, this. I promised I'd meet them up at this Panera Bread over in West Philly.
A Panera Bread.
I know. I didn't pick it. They picked.
Only Delco trash goes to Panera Bread.
I know you always say that, but I I could not try not to break character with that. I know we always that's practically the family motto. I know, but listen, Dad, like I'm sorry, but I really got to
flash over to the tattoo on my lower ankle that says "Only Delco trash goes to Panera Bread." And then cut back. Delco, for people who are not familiar, is Delaware County. It's
where I live.
West Philadelphia. It's where Ben lives.
Yeah, listen, Dad. I know this is important to you. I'll make it up to you. I promise. Like we can.
It's important to me, but I thought it was important to us. Like I thought this is something that, like, like, I mean, we used to sit around on, and on Saturday mornings just watch. I mean, that's like, and I like point around, like that's like, why this whole thing, like, and we've been so busy.
I know, and I'm glad it's the business now, but you gotta understand, Dad. Like I'm not a kid anymore. Like I got stuff to do. I'm sorry.
I mean, like you're not a kid, but I mean, like I'm still your dad. Like, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I just thought, it's on the community calendar, and I thought you were excited to do this again. But I mean, if you've got other stuff going on, like I'll watch this one myself.
Like I heard Larry's coming back. He's like obsessed with this movie. Like I'm sure he'll want to watch it with you. And so, watching it with the regulars is fun too, right? I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was thinking I was regularly going to watch it with my son, but it's fine. Like,
one thing I wasn't clear about when we started, I should have probably made sure that you knew is that either one of us can end a scene at any time when we feel like we become disillusioned with the trait we have showing by saying, "I used to think or I used to feel like,
Perfect.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and then burning your or destroying your trade. So just throwing that out
It's
there.
good to know because otherwise I would have just gone on forever.
Yeah, just like at any time if you feel like you've become so maybe for this one the best way to end the scene is I'm like something like is it I don't know enough about skateboarding to know if it's possible for me to skateboard out the door with sandals on, but that seems unsafe to me as a actual dad. But I'm gonna be like I think the best way maybe to end the scene is for me to be like, Dad, I'm sorry, I love you, but maybe we can find a time to watch it at night. I gotta go. I'm already late, and then I'm just gonna like kind of.
Cool. And I say, what's the trigger phrase?
I used to think some version of I used to think.
I guess I used to think Saturday morning movies were important.
Yeah. Oh. There we go. Oh, and I have to break the copy of Blade Runner. So it's multiple DVDs here. So I've learned playing Broken. DVDs are not as easy to snap as you might think that they are.
And probably somewhat dangerous. Be careful, Ben.
Yeah, I've got so to that end, we talk about physical safety in addition to emotional safety in the rule book. And so to that end, I brought a blanket here and a hammer so I can wrap some items in a blanket when I smash them. There we go. All right. I actually, wow, that DVD was really hard to destroy. Holy cow. But there it goes. There, it's broken. Woo. And
because Blade Runners are tough.
Yeah. And wow, even the Netflix sleeves are hard to pull apart.
They gotta be slightly waterproof. They gotta be puncture resistant. They gotta
there you go.
Netflix knew what they were doing.
They did.
At one point in time.
All right. So that is that scene. So now you'll pick an object. It could be any of the 10. It could be any of the ones I have over here. It could be any of the ones you have as a scene prompt. And we're going to, my top card showing is still Love How Trusting My Dad Is. What's your new one showing?
My new one is Willingness to Go In on a Crazy Idea.
Okay. So basically we'll try to move to becoming disillusioned with one of those.
And what did you say your top one was one more time for me?
I love how trusting my dad is, or how trusting you are. And so yeah, you can pick any of the objects that we got.
I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick my tape. My mixtape cassette.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
So then you're going to prompt the scene by saying "remember when" and sort of setting some sort of scene.
Yeah. So remember when remember when we launched the custom mixtape build your own mixtape kiosk in the coffee shop.
We lost it. Okay.
When we launched it, it was brilliant idea. You come in, you look at our large selection of cassettes, and it's really it's like an old boom box with an iPad next to it. Like that's all it is. It's not actually a kiosk. And you can basically make your own mixtapes in store. It was like buy a blank cassette, pirate music in store, pay us a little bit of money.
I love that. Okay, but you forgot about how we got into an argument because you accused me of trying to sabotage it because I didn't think it was a great idea.
Cool. Love it.
So then you'll just sort of launch us into the scene, set us up, get the ball rolling.
Yeah. I think it's been it's been a week of me standing out in the cafe. Anytime I'm doing walking around clearing tables, talking to people, I'm constantly aggressively encouraging customers to try the make your own mixtape kiosk, and we point over in the corner, and it actually looks a little dangerous. There's too many cords plugged in. over there, and like the cassettes are like very like haphazardly stacked on each other. And you know, but it's like a lot like, and there have been 2 or 3 customers who are regulars like every day who about 3 days ago just like stopped coming in.
Wow. Did they like say anything about not coming in, or did they just sort of stop?
They just stopped, like, and like they could just be out of town, but it's just like it's like noticeable. It's been noticeable that like people are like at first we're like okay, and then are like no, like we know, and then are now like, and like that there's, you know, they could just be on vacation, but who knows? But you know, like it's noticeable that there's less customers in.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I am. Let's see. How's it a good way for me to enter into the scene here? I feel like I'm probably like clearing tables, like doing some like cleanup stuff that you do when you're not really busy. The stuff you kind of do when you work at a coffee shop, like when you have the opportunity because there's no one there. But I'm like kind of visibly frustrated about it. Maybe I'm like passive aggressively shutting doors like cabinets too loud. I'm like rattling stuff, like I'm like trying
You're
to
like
make it.
restocking like the like sugars and stuff, and the cabinet for that
Yes.
is like right next to it.
Yeah, and I just kind of like slam it shut too. Maybe I even like bump one of the things for the mixtape thing, like, and accidentally knock it over. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I was trying to refill the freaking sugars, and this just got in the way. Sorry about that.
Maybe it's hard to get to that stuff now, even
Yeah,
because of where I set up the
yeah,
camera.
that's why. So I'm like, oh, sorry, like I you know I needed to refill the sugars.
Like, look, be careful. This is a big money maker. Like, this is going to be
It's
it. Like, I mean, you know, like people are all about customized playlists nowadays. Again, like it's come back strong. Like, you know, but like people are really looking for the physicality of that. I don't know if you know this. CDs are still the #1 gift musical item, and it's because people like the physical form factor more than just like here's a link to a Spotify playlist. So this is going to be huge once we get the word out.
uh, you really think so, Dad? Like, you really think this thing is gonna be big? Like, are you sure?
Yeah, we've sold like 3 this week, and that's just from me talking here. Once those 3 people play those songs for their friends, you know, like I've been actually thinking like we should probably like connect this to the speakers outside so that like when somebody's making the mixtape, like everyone outside can like hear it in action, and understand what goes into making the best mixtape you possibly can. Because it's not just like a playlist; it's the investment, the time that goes into it. Like that's what matters. That's what matters.
Uh, but we're a movie themed coffee shop. We're not a music themed coffee shop. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, like, what is, I mean, what is Breakfast Club without names, key, refrain, song, na 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 from that I don't actually know the name of. What what is
So,
a other movie with key song reference that I make right now?
so are you saying that like all the songs here that people are gonna be able to use are all like from movie
Yeah,
soundtracks? Is that
quick flash over. Like some of them are, the vast majority of them are just like the weird country tapes you find at a thrift store that no one wants.
and I'm like holding them up. I'm like holding them up to you, like,
Yeah, I'm like sorting through it. I like pull out like Kenny Loggins one. I was like,
yeah,
Gambler, like it's in stuff.
Dad, listen, like, okay, even if this was a good idea, which it's not, sorry, it's not. Even if this is a good idea, what's a Tony? What's a thing that could be not functioning properly as part of this mixtape
Oh,
thing?
like this boombox has like, so we've sold 3. This boombox
Yeah,
has eaten like
yeah. Okay, perfect,
12 tapes in the
perfect. So,
process.
so I say, the boombox is not even working right, Dad. Like the boombox is not even working right. I don't know what happened. It was working right when I dug it out from the basement
I get
2 weeks
it.
ago, but
We'll
it
we'll
stopped working a couple days ago.
right.
You know, I don't know how.
We'll invest in a new boombox. I mean, like, you know, we'll go out there with top of the line stuff. Like, you got to spend money to make money. We know that. You know, like, let's do it.
just man, I don't know, Dad. Like, I just think it's a bad idea.
Is this what is your what's your top one right now?
It's love. I love how trusting my dad is.
Cool. And it doesn't matter what rate either of us burns through any of our things, because it'll just end up being that the scenes will get more focused as we go through later. Cool.
Correct. Yeah.
Look, like you were with me when we did the Bananarama burrito, and look at how that turned out. You were with me when we went all in on the Blade Trinity cutlery.
I was there
like
for that,
people thought serrated forks and spoons would never take on, but Blade Trinity, fork, spoon, knife, all three bladed. People love them. They buy them for family and friends all the time. Like I'm telling you, this is going to be the next big thing.
Larry hasn't even come in for coffee in 3 days, and that guy comes here if there's a blizzard.
Yeah, it's real hot outside right now. So I understand he comes when there's blizzards, but it's hot right now.
But you can't get to the sugar or the creamer or anything. Like there's people that come here before work because they want to get their drink on the way to work, and like they we're gonna lose customers because of it.
Look, I mean, like this is a partnership. If you don't like this, we could. I mean, I know we've invested time and energy into it already, and I thought you were on board with it. But if you're not, that's fine. Just say the word, and we'll put it away.
Yeah, Dad, I really try hard to like not say no to your ideas, but like I really think this is a bad one. I really think we should probably can it.
Well, like I always thought you would be willing to go in on my crazy ideas, and so that's going to be my next burn.
Nice. That looks great. Make sure you destroy the object. The mixtape, the cassette tape box.
All right. I didn't give thought to how I was destroying things.
Yeah, that's why I was lucky. I remembered we had a hammer where, that one probably breaks pretty easy, I would think. Nice breaking sound. That's great. Oh, man.
Note to self, sharp pieces of plastic on the ground later.
Yeah, exactly. Always be careful, folks, when you play this game. That's my advice. If you need to smash, we played an actual play of this that my wife Mel and I recorded for our podcast Pod of Love, which was sort of the birthplace of Broken, and we smashed some stuff that you really needed to like smash. So we just went outside and just smashed that stuff on the ground. We didn't get good audio of it, but we we smashed it. All right, so let's see. What's your next card showing?
My next card showing is creative artist ? And
Okay.
Yeah, that's my next one.
I think so. Mine is still the love how trusting my dad is, which we may want to, just for the sake of like curvature here, like we may want to work towards kind of becoming disillusioned with that one in the scene. Maybe this is the time for breaking the 2.5 man mug.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I think is the way that sound goes.
Right. Okay, so here is this. Okay, let me think about how. Okay, so this mug says the good, the bad, and the hungry on it, right? So I'm going to bring in this NPC I keep referencing named Larry, who's a regular at our coffee shop, into the scene. And I'm going to say that, let's not. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. The scene is, I'm thinking maybe the good, the bad, and the hungry here. Maybe, let's see. Remember when, okay. Oh, I've got this. All right. I got it. Remember when I was like really concerned because I thought, all right, I'm pivoting slightly. Remember when I was really concerned that one of our employees was taking money out of the cash register, and I approached you about it to have a like serious talk about it.
And what's the prompt we're angling towards again right now? What's your top one?
Oh, love how trusting my dad is.
Cool. And it's really just about you becoming disillusioned with that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I think we're just gonna go with like, but I didn't believe you because who would do that, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect, perfect. All right, so let's say I'm thinking this is like the coffee shop late at night, like reconciling the register. I'm in the back in our office, like it's like we see a desk, stacks of papers everywhere. We're not particularly organized. There's all the stuff from the mixtape like station is now just sort of crammed into the corner of the office because it hasn't been like properly dealt with yet. You know, like the last one or two crazy ideas you had are also still sort of taking up space here in the office.
Yeah, there's a crap ton of Blade Trinity like silverware
exactly
in over there. Yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to reconcile the books and I'm just like frustrated. And I'm like, kind of like, oh, come on. And I'm like starting over, you know, looking at the register receipt, trying to count the money when you maybe come in to the office. That's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like scoop past like the stacks of silverware and I'm like, yeah, how's the end of quarter going? Everything looking good. I know we lost out on some income streams, kind of pulling back from some of those, but I know foot traffic's been good, so how are we doing?
Dad, I'm worried about something. Can you take a look at this with me, because I just can't get this to reconcile, and I'm starting to notice a pattern, and I'm really worried about it.
Yeah, I'm sure we can figure it out. Like I'm not, like you're so smart. Like I'm sure whatever you've noticed is probably spot on. What do we start looking through the books with you. What do you see?
Yeah. So, all right, like here, let me show you. Like I show you like a number of different things in the books. Like I count, show you, and I'm like, it just every time I reconcile the register after Sam closes, we're short every time. And like if you look at this day and this day and this day and this day, they're short the same amount of money each of those days. And who is closing? Look who signed the register receipt on those days. Like it's Sam every time. So I'm sorry to say this, but I think Sam is pulling money from the register.
Look, there's gotta be another explanation for this. Sam's a hard worker, like always here on time, I can't imagine like that this is anything other than, and maybe, like they're from South Philly. Maybe they're not as good with change as we might want them to be. But it's I'm sure with a little bit of coaching, maybe some night classes, we can get them up to par.
Dad, like I get what you're saying, and like I like Sam a lot. He's a hard worker, like you said. He's always here on time. That's true. But like, I don't know. Did you see his new sneakers? Like they're really cool and expensive, and he works here for like tiddlywinks, honestly, if I'm being honest about it. So like, I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything, but like, I don't want to accuse somebody of something, but like, I don't know how else to resolve this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean, he told me he got those from the Hypebeast store across from Tattooed Mom and Federal Donuts. So like, I mean, probably didn't spend full price on them.
Even still though, but like how, okay, what do you think, where do you think the money is going?
I mean, like we pay people pretty well,
Yeah, okay, but where do you think the money that's missing is going?
I'm sure, if we look around, maybe if we dropped it, like maybe I did a math thing, maybe I messed up, who did the deposit the next day? Maybe it was me.
Dad, like seriously, like listen, like people do bad things sometimes, even people we like, and like we don't really know this person. Yes, he's an employee of ours, and like yeah, he's doing a pretty good job, but like you gotta understand, like these are my generation. Like I've gone to school with them. I like have friends that are his age. I've run with some of his friends. Like these people might sometimes people seem like they're good people, and maybe they are, but they do bad stuff sometimes. Like people are not perfect. Like you can't just assume because he comes in on time he's not stealing money from the register. I'm sorry. I know you really want to like trust our employees, but like it's a different time now than when you were young, Dad. I'm sorry.
Look, I just think, like, we'll talk to Sam. We'll ask what happens. We'll see if it's an issue. If they need a little bit of help, we'll get them help.
Oh my God. Oh God. It's going to like this kind of stuff is going to ruin us. Like we don't make enough profit margin to like lose out money like this. Like we can't, it just doesn't work.
I mean, it'll be fine. Like if we need to take out another loan, we'll take out another loan.
Fine. That's fine. I gotta go study for grad school. I mean, hell, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make money in my life, because like right now this doesn't seem like it's taking off as well as we'd like. Right? Honestly, we're losing money. So I'm gonna take my stuff. You can finish resolving the books, I guess.
Yeah, I'll double check everything. I'm sure you did a good job though.
Thanks. All right, I'll see you at home. I used to love how trusting my dad is. Uh-oh. My air conditioning unit's keeping me from burning this paper. Oh, no. Come on. It was working great. It doesn't want to catch. There we go. All right. There we go. I used to love how trusting my dad is. And now I have to smash a... Uh-oh. That just disintegrated a little too fast. Don't start fires is a good rule of thumb. All right, I'm going to smash the 2.5 Men mug. I wonder if it's possible for me to move my camera so that you can see this.
Yeah, that's good right there.
Right there. Hold on, my camera has to stay. It doesn't want to stay.
I mean, I can also move my view of your camera.
All right, I'm going to hold it and I'm going to smash this. Oh God, here we go. All right. Oh, that didn't smash.
Hit it harder.
There it goes. Boom. 2.5 Men broken.
Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. Yeah.
All right. Oh, look at that. That is smashed up.
That was probably worth money, that mug right there. That was, vintage 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
Original cast.
Definitely. Without a doubt. Worth some money. All right. Let's see. Oh, I moved my objects. Now I got to remember what I had left. Oh, right. So I still have a director's thingy.
Yeah.
I still have a Goodnight Moon book. I still have a light bulb. What do you have left object-wise?
My journal / prophecy book.
Oh, right.
A plate, a dice thing, and a mug.
And my new top card showing always has my back.
Okay.
All right. So, be your turn to prompt a scene. So you can pick any of the objects we have and give us a remember when.
Remind me what you got. You got a light bulb?
A light bulb, a Goodnight Moon, and the director's thingy.
Let's pick. Let's pick the light bulb.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I remember the time I wanted you to design a custom neon sign and art installation for the outside of the store.
Yeah. Well, remind me your top card.
Creative / art.
Yeah, and mine's always has my back. All right. Remember when you wanted me to design? You wanted me to design a custom
neon sign for the exterior of the store.
All right. But you forgot about how you gave me, like, let's see, what's a good angle for this? But you forgot about how, like, you gave me 3 days to finish it by, like, an event we had in the weekend. And it was just like I had to get all the supplies together in that amount of time. I had almost no budget, and like was freaking out about it. So go ahead, give us the how do you when how do you want the scene to start?
I think like maybe we see you like on one of the couches, like just off shift, and I'm like turn around and I look at something you're drawing, right? And I'm like, you know what? You know, we've got Taste of Philly this weekend happening right outside on the street. You know what would be great? And I like, you know, I finger frame, like we see my shot through the thing at the window. Then I look down at your drawing. I'm like, you know, big neon art sign. My friend Walt, he could probably knock it out if we had it to him, you know, like in 3 days. So if you sketch something up real quick, we'll get Walt to do it. We'll pop it out there. We'll have people walking in and out. Maybe we bring the mixtapes back out. Maybe not. You know, like who knows? And we get it all set up for Taste of Philly. Great way to draw people in. You got this. You got this.
I have so much going on right now. Like between now and Dad, I think you forgot. I think someone in the chat said I'm on it. I'm going to assume that means making the neon.
Yeah.
Sign.
Dog's on it. It's Walt.
Okay.
Is on it.
You know what my forgot about should have been? I'm going to change my forgot about right now because I just realized. But you forgot about how between now and then is my GRE test.
Excellent.
Dad, I've been talking about this for like months. The GREs are in 2 days.
Yeah, GREs 2 days.
Yeah,
gives you like either you just look, you drew this in like 5 minutes. Like this is great.
So is it good to go? Can you give this to him?
Do what? I mean, we probably want to clean up the line work, but I mean also like do your GREs. We don't need it for 3 days, and so you do your GREs. The next day, just put some more time into it.
That's not going to work. Like I don't have the time to do that. Like I got to work here. I got to, you know, I've got dates that I have to go on. I've got, or I want to go on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not going to.
I mean, I guess. I mean, like GREs are coming up. Like we've got a business to run. I want to go on dates. You've got to make choices about what you want to do with your life.
I know I am making those choices though.
Right. But like, this is important because like, you know, like those dates, you could go with them to Taste of Philly. You walk down the street. They're like, oh my gosh, look at that amazing neon. You're like, oh yeah, I made that. Right. And boom. I've got grandkids in a couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
I think I like legitimately like laugh at that. And I'm like, I do love that, Dad. That's pretty awesome, actually. I'm not going to lie. But, oh, God, I would love to. I mean, it sounds fun. Like, I'd love to see it become real, too.
Great,
like,
great. We're agreed.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
You've got this. I'll take care of menu prep. You let me know. I'll get things to Walt. You do it now. You do it later. You know, when you bring your date by on this weekend, I won't. If you bring multiple dates by, it's whatever. I won't even like. I'll pretend like I don't even know you if you want.
I do love that you're going to play it cool. I do. That's awesome, and I know it's awesome. But I just can't, Dad. It's not going to happen. It's just not enough time. It's just not enough time to get that. Well, how long is Taste of Philly?
I mean, it's you know 2.5 days. There's the 2 days of actual Taste of Philly. Friday night's going to be big, but if we don't have it for Friday night, we got it for Saturday day, Sunday day. It's fine.
Man, I just don't think I have the space.
Well, I'm telling you, like, you need to find the space so we can make this work. And I just fucking walk off.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good because I feel like I'm like, so we see you walk off, and I tear the drawing I have. I just tear it in half because I'm pissed, and I just tear it in half. I feel like I could be disillusioned.
I'm throwing this back to you as a you being able to be disillusioned thing. Like this is my bad behavior and your ability to become disillusioned with me having your back. Because this is ostensibly your dad saying, I don't care what you've got going on. This is more important.
So sometimes you become disillusioned with traits at the same time, which happens in this game. That's why I was like, man, this might be one where we're both becoming disillusioned with this, because I definitely am disillusioned with. I used to. Sorry, the line is, I used to think you always had my back.
Yeah.
I used to think my dad.
I mean, if we want to see what the end result is, I'm happy to play that out. I don't think anything in this made me disillusioned with your creativity or art.
Sure.
I think that's potentially a fun future scene, though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna smash the light bulb. Gonna wrap it back up in the cloth here, and I'm gonna give it a smash. Let's see. I'm gonna turn my camera here. All right, here we go.
Boom. It's way easier than a mug.
Way easier. And now, of course I didn't think through what to do with it afterward. I do have a trash can here. I do talk about that in the physical safety of the book, of like, think through having a trash. What are you going to do with the stuff when you break it?
Like here, my splash zone is right here, and my trash can is right off the edge of my desk, so I can just.
So that it is discussed in the book, because sometimes people will just not think about it in advance. Like, oh, right, what do I do with that smashed light bulb once I smash it? So it's always good to have a trash can right nearby. All right. So I think it's my turn to set the scene, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Let's see. You have your notebook. Oh, the 2.5 Men mug would have been good for this scene too, because I have Leaned on Me when the older brother left the house showing, and yours is the art showing, correct?
I've got art showing. Yeah. I mean, depends on what you want to do with older brother left the house. But like I've got Book of Prophecy / notes to break. So if he maybe said something that was kind of like future oriented when he left, we could bring that back.
Mm-hmm. And I do have Goodnight Moon.
Oh, you go back to a childhoodish memory, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay, I'm thinking. Let me think this through here. And you okay? Let's see. And Goodnight Moon is all about going to sleep, right? All right. I think I'm gonna say this is really interesting. You have the Notebook. What are your other ones? The Notebook.
Notebook, dice case, plate, and mug.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna throw this, and we can see where this goes. Remember when I decided to introduce a date to the family and we had dinner? Remember when we had dinner with someone I've been dating a little bit, named Kat, and we set it up so that my older brother Jackson was going to be there too. So remember when we had dinner, Kat came over for the first time so you could meet her, and Jackson also came home.
Cool. But you forgot that but you forgot that I am a horrible host. I want to clarify, like, not intentionally. I'm just very bad at everything that goes into hosting.
All right, so that's great. So in that case, where we start the scene is I'm in the kitchen at our home. We're not at the coffee shop. We're at the house, and we have like a really small old city flat. I'm not sure how we afford it, and so I'm in the kitchen, and like I am in the kitchen, and I'm trying to like really quickly pull a ton of stuff together that didn't get done in time, like for dinner. So I'm like in there, like trying to like get everything together. Cat's out in the other room with Jackson, which is not my favorite thing in the world. So I'm kind of like frustrated, and I'm frustrated that I'm doing this when I could be with her. Yeah.
Oh,
So
and
that's
I
where,
was supposed to be home like 30.
yeah,
I was supposed to be home earlier in the day, but y'all
yeah.
were supposed to show up 30 minutes ago, and I'm still not here. So like,
You're
I
not
think
here. Okay.
I like come through the door and I'm like whistling
Bag of groceries.
yeah, like bag of hey, I is it Thursday today?
From the kitchen, I'm like, hey, Pop, I need you in here.
Yeah, sure, Jackson, I'm glad you could come. Didn't think you'd make it down, honestly, but glad you're here. Don't even say hi to Kat. Like, just like bust by to the kitchen, like pop down, groceries, which are ostensibly very bachelor groceries. Like I pull out, like Fruity Pebbles. I pull out, rotisserie chicken. I pull out like a bunch, like stacks of microwavable meals, and just stack them all on the counter and be like, you got everything? Like, it looks like you got it all in hand.
Not really. I thought you were going to make dinner.
I mean, I can like, and like,
Oh,
I like
yeah, you
point
were
the
supposed
microwave
to.
meals. Like these are ready to go in like 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Did you meet Kat? Did you already meet Kat
Is
without
that
me?
is that who that was? I didn't know if it was somebody who came with Jackson or not.
Yeah, that's who that was. And also, what's Jackson doing here?
Oh, well, like anytime we're gonna have a special meal, I always invite him down. He never comes.
Uh, I, I'm so confused. I thought you said you were going to make dinner.
Yeah,
There's no,
I'll make dinner, like, and I start like trying to shush you out of so I can get to the microwave with like with 4 microwavable like Hungry
no,
Man meals stacked up.
no, Dad. Oh my
What?
God. You said you were going to make one of your like specialties.
Yeah. I mean, is there a certain one you wanted?
It's too late.
I mean, I
Maybe,
can
I don't
pop
know.
back out and get something.
Oh my gosh, Dad. It's like 7 o'clock and we were supposed to be here at 6:30 so we could have dinner at 7. What are we going to eat at like 8 or 9 o'clock? I feel so bad for Kat, like, what am
She
I supposed to
seemed
tell her?
nice when I walked in.
I, did you say hi?
Hi, Kat.
Oh my gosh, Dad.
Good to
This
meet
is,
you.
this is like, oh my gosh, this was so important to me. This was really important to me. Like, we can't eat Hungry Man microwave meals, Dad.
I
Like,
mean, I do it
that's
every day. I mean, I got the rotisserie chicken here. I guess we could do also.
look, I get that I am more of a cook than you are because it's like, just like, I love it. I love doing it. But you have some stuff that you can make pretty well. Like, you could do, like, those Swedish meatballs you do are good. Um, those were from IKEA all along, weren't they?
Oh yeah, we flash into the freezer and we just see a bunch of IKEA, like trays of IKEA meatballs in similar containers of the Hungry Man thing.
Damn it, Dad. Uh, um, I don't know what to do now. I was trying to pull something together with what I found in the cupboards here, but like I'm the only one that really had anything. You didn't have any food really that I could find.
That's why I went grocery shopping. Like I had to close the store. I had to get over here. I Thursdays are hard for me to remember, and this will be fine. Like, look, here's the thing, like, put it on a plate. No one knows. When you guys were teenagers, like I like these all the time. You never knew because I put it on a different plate.
No, but I'm not a teenager anymore. You're not a teenager. You're old. Like, you shouldn't be living like this. Come on. I don't want to live like this anymore. Like, oh my gosh. I used to love that. I used to think it was awesome the way you leaned on me when Jackson left the house. And like, I stepped up and I helped out around the house, and you really leaned on me to help out with the cooking, and do everything that needed to be done. But like now it's just old and tired, and like I'm sick of it, and like I'm just tired of it. I'm just done. This is too much. It's just too much, Dad. Too much.
Am I breaking the plate? What are we breaking?
Yeah, go ahead and break the plate.
I think I can break it on the edge of this thing. We're gonna see. I did not take safety into account.
Oops.
when I don't want
Oh, I don't hear you. I think I do now. Oh no, I was wrong. Yeah, I think the audience hears you and I don't. That's the issue. Mm. Well, while Tony's figuring that out, if I may say, people can. Okay, Tony's going to reboot and be right back, and so we're going to do that and be right back. Does that mean that might mean the stream's going down? The stream's going to go down and come back up. Hey, great opportunity for you to go check out Broken on itch.io. Go bit.ly/BrokenGame. Check out check it out. Yeah, there we go. And the itch funding is live. We're heading towards our stretch goal. I hope people will check it out.